The business community really faces one of its most unique periods right now. This is really a challenging time. It's challenging because the financial markets are vastly improved. As we speak, the markets are up. Wall Street is showing some very positive signs. The global economic crisis has really eased. But there are a lot of people out there who just don't believe it. They're looking around. They still feel insecure. And on so many fronts, they're wondering, is this any different than it has been in recent years? We're coming off of 6 years that have been very, very challenging. And as you come off of 6 years like that, the feeling is that you don't trust these signs. You just don't believe it. One of the things we have to do as business leaders is we have to convince our people that productivity, diligence, focus still matters, and that we can still get results by being committed to those results. It's not easy because many people have been lulled into this feeling of insecurity. And just because the atmosphere is insecure, it doesn't mean that you have to be. So we have to think about how we are going to break through, bounce back, come from behind, and win. How we're going to succeed in an environment where the atmosphere is so charged and people are so concerned about their future that they're not taking the steps necessary to succeed. I remember when, as a teenager, I always wanted to be in business. I was excited about working with an entrepreneur. And I needed a breakthrough. And a friend of mine was working at a restaurant, and he said to me, why don't you come down and interview and see whether you want to be a part of this? I remember the manager of that restaurant kept me waiting probably for 45 minutes to an hour. He wasn't busy. He just kept me waiting. And then he offered me a position that was the midnight shift, from midnight to 8 in the morning. He didn't think I was going to take it, but I was hungry, so I took that position. That was my breakthrough. That was how I got into business because I wanted to be in business. Soon after that, I wound up being manager of that restaurant. And I was doing really well. But as time progressed and I moved into high school, into college, I wound up in a position where I was reaching actually some difficult periods because actually I had a fire in my home. And not only did I have a fire in my home, but that put me in a position where I had to really bounce back because things were pretty difficult. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and she said, why don't you talk to my dad? My dad works on Wall Street, and he offered me a position on Wall Street. And a short time after I got that position, and I found myself, after just a few years, a vice president of a multinational company. So that was really a great comeback for me after having a fire and being now in a position where just a short time later, not only was I on Wall Street, but I was in a position where I was actually running a division of a major corporation. But then my ambitions as an entrepreneur really set in and took hold. And I started to think about what I really wanted to do and how important that was to me and how I wanted to fulfill that ambition. So a partner and I talked about starting a company, and we started a company. And what was interesting about that is we entered an industry that everyone said was saturated, was dominated, that we couldn't compete in. We didn't have the money that we needed to. We didn't have the people that we thought we needed to succeed. Well, in a short period, we not only entered the industry, but we created services and products and a methodology that helped to define a segment of that industry that didn't exist at that point. We started to offer services that were really, really unique. So we came from behind in that period. And in all of those experiences, whether it's been on Wall Street or whether it's on Main Street, I've learned that diligence works, focus works. And this is the thing that business leaders have to convince their people of right now. So as I talk to business leaders and encourage them to come up with new strategies, to re-energize their folks, I want you to think about how you can re-engage in this process, how you can prevent yourself from being lulled into this indifference that could be fatal for you and your business. and instead re-engage to the point where you believe in your possibilities, that you believe that you can succeed, and you're committed to doing those things necessary to make your business successful. This works whether you're a large company, a multinational company, a middle market company, a small company, or an entrepreneur. It's about re-engaging. It's about focusing. It's about commitment. It's about being diligent. If you do that, you will be successful. Go ahead and try it.